All eyes in the NFL landscape will soon turn to free agency, which begins in just over a week's time. We're tackling two divisions today, and we'll start with the AFC East. Any player not tagged today has the first look toward free agency, but clubs can still hand out extensions to their own players until March 11th. Let's welcome in Ryan Wilson and John Breech for their top free agent targets for each team in the division. And let's start with the AFC champs in the Patriots. R-Dub, where have you targeted the position and the player?
Fairly or not, Tommy and John Breech, Will Campbell has heard it a little bit after that Super Bowl loss. That was pretty convincing for a number of reasons. Never mind the fact that he was a little banged up. The short arms are going to be the conversation. They still need offensive line help, whether Will Campbell plays left tackle, left guard, center, running back, or wide receiver. So I'm going with Rasheed Walker. Rasheed Wallace would be awesome. Shout out UNC 90s national championship team. Rasheed Walker, the left tackle out of Green Bay by way of Penn State, former 7th-round pick, who tested off the charts and had really good tape coming out of Penn State, but a little maturity issues. He certainly got it together during his 4 years in Green Bay, and he's going to be one of the highest paid young free agents along the offensive line. Look, you get as many good players as you can to protect your quarterback in Drake May. We can sort out where they're going to line up when September rolls around, but I think it's fair to say that whether Will Campbell stays at left tackle or moves somewhere else, there is room in that offensive line room for Rasheed Walker, and I love the idea, given all the cap space the Patriots have, for them making that move with a proven veteran as opposed to drafting someone at the bottom of the first round and just hoping it works out at offensive line.
Yeah, when you look at this Patriots roster, it feels like there are two huge needs: the offensive line, and they need some pass rushers. And since Wilson just mentioned Rasheed Walker, I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball here and say they need to add a pass rusher. And let's go with Odafe Oweh. He was one of those guys. There was a little bit of speculation over the past few weeks that the Chargers might hit him with the franchise tag. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. So that means he is going to be available in free agency. And you look at what he did during the regular season, got off to a slow start in Baltimore, got traded out to LA with the Chargers, and just became absolutely dominant. And when we talk about the Patriots, sometimes you see a player up close and that's what it takes to convince you, hey, I need that guy on my roster. When you go back and look at that Patriots-Chargers playoff game, there was only about one Chargers player that had a super memorable game, and that was Oweh. He absolutely beat up on that Patriots offensive line that Wilson was just talking about. He had 3 sacks in that game in an NFL playoff game. When you're racking up 3 sacks in a postseason game, that is absolutely impressive. I bet Mike Vrabel's mouth was watering and wondering what he needs to do to get Oweh on his team. Well, now all he has to do is offer him a bunch of money, and Oweh could be in New England come March 11th.
Patriots had a lot of cap space last summer, spent a lot of it on defense, still in a pretty good position this season. It'll be interesting to see where they go and listen to you guys. How about Ryan Wilson, the Buffalo Bills?
All right, the new head coach and the old offensive coordinator and Joe Brady, they have the new DC in Jim Leonhard, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see how things play out there. They have some guys that look to be set to leave in free agency, huge parts of what they used to do in that middle of that defense with Matt Milano and, of course, Shaq Thompson. I'm going with Quay Walker. Rasheed and Quay can drive over from Green Bay together. I don't think they're related, but they're both names last name Walker. We'll see if I keep that theme going throughout our conversation here. But there's nothing wrong with getting super athletic off-ball linebacker with sideline-to-sideline juice, ability to cover in space, and then come downhill in the run game. He had a pretty good season last year. It's just that the Packers are so stockpiled at juiced-up edge off-ball linebackers. Edge Cooper last year was a truly special player, the former 2nd-round pick. So I love the idea of Jim Leonhard getting his hands on Quay Walker, who should come relatively affordable given the price for off-ball linebackers in this free agent class. He's still young, and he provides some middle-of-the-field juice for a Bills team that we can all admit struggled at times, in part because of injury. No one wants to hear that. But I think Quay gets them right on track in terms of being better against the run and certainly brings something as in pass coverage.
I am going to go to the opposite side of the ball once again. I'm going to go to the offense here. I know when we talk about the Buffalo Bills, you're always thinking this team has to do something at wide receiver. And so you look around at who Buffalo could possibly add. We know they have James Cook. They have a great rushing attack. They have Josh Allen. They have the quarterback. They need to bring another weapon in there to help. And so I've got them signing Rashid Shaheed. It feels like that was really a game-changing trade when the Seahawks acquired him in November, because he's not just a receiver. He is a multi-threat weapon. He's a Swiss Army knife. We know that he can return punts. He can return kickoffs. He had possibly the biggest play of the Seahawks season when he returned a punt for a touchdown against the Rams when the Seahawks had that fourth quarter comeback down 16 points. If the Seahawks don't win that game, they might not win the Super Bowl. And then we also saw him return a couple kickoffs for a touchdown, one in the regular season, one in the playoffs. So he's really that big threat guy, and he is a threat to score anytime he touches the ball. So maybe he's not that number one guy the Bills need at receiver, but they need some help, and he would absolutely help.
Bills will have to be smart with some of their spending. They've got some cap challenges like the Dolphins do. I'm going to throw it right back at you, John Breech, with Miami in your target there for free agents.
Hey, look, we don't think Tua Tagovailoa is returning to the Dolphins, so they need a quarterback, Tommy. I'm going to say they should sign Malik Willis. When you look at their new head coach and Jeff Hafley, he came from Green Bay. He was the defensive coordinator there. He spent 2 years watching Willis, so he knows him well. He knows what he's capable of, and he knows what kind of offense that Willis can be successful in. So I think if you want to bring a quarterback to the Dolphins that you think is someone who can lead your team to success right away, in your Hafley, you probably feel good about Willis. So I think this could be a good fit. They do have Quinn Ewers there, but I'm not sure that they would trust him to just hand him the starting job. So you offer Willis some money, you bring him down, you let him win the job, and you see what he can do.
I love it, Breech. And here's the thing that we say about Malik Willis, that the fit has to matter, because obviously not so great in Tennessee, went to Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, and he looked really, really good, and that's why he's about to get paid. So if you're going to bring him down to South Florida, let's get him some help along the offensive line. A lot of conversations talking about Packers and Chargers players. I'm going to keep the Chargers team going with Zion Johnson, the former first-round pick. Played tackle at Boston College, has played guard center at the next level here. They did not pick up his fifth-year option, in part because they had needs elsewhere in terms of salary cap space, and they've spent a lot of money on those two offensive tackles. He played pretty good last year, and he's going to get paid this offseason. And as Breech noted, the Dolphins have a ton of needs, and you could just pick a position and pretty much guarantee they should probably upgrade that position. But if you're going to upgrade the quarterback position, might as well upgrade the offensive line in the process. Last year, they drafted Jonas Savaiinaea at guard, bring in Zion Johnson to help whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Quinn Ewers or Malik Willis or someone else, and then get about the business of trying to be competitive once again in the AFC East.
Last but not least, we have the Jets. They have high draft capital in terms of a top 5 pick. They've got a lot of cap space to spend. Interestingly enough, you guys have both targeted the same side of the ball. Breech, what side of the ball is that?
That is the defensive side of the ball, Tommy. And I'm going to say the Jets should go out and sign Seahawks safety Kobe Bryant. We're talking about a guy who is coming off a Super Bowl win, which is something the Jets don't really know anything about because they haven't been to the playoffs in 15 years. They have the longest drought without a playoff appearance. You go all the way back to 2010. So you need someone like this, kind of a veteran leader on your defense. The Jets got rid of a lot of those types of guys. And you talk about trading away Sauce Gardner, trading away Quinnen Williams. So you bring someone who can be kind of the leader in that secondary. And let's not forget that Kobe Bryant is a ball hawk. He had 4 interceptions during the regular season, one of the ranked in the top 10 in the NFL. You guys remember how many interceptions the Jets had? 0. They didn't have any. The only team in NFL history that has never had an interception throughout the entire season. So Kobe Bryant, just right there, would go in and help because the Jets did not have any ball hawks last season.
Tommy, we're living in a world where the three of us have as many interceptions as the Jets. That's not a world that we should probably be living as Jets fans. Here's the thing. Breech isn't wrong, by the way, and this feels sort of like the Miami conversation where you can just pick a position and say, let's upgrade it, especially on defense, perhaps outside of a couple of edge rushers. I'm going to go with the linebacker position. I'm going to go with Alex Anzalone, in part because they need some veteran presence in there, in part because he has a relationship with AG, the head coach, during their time together in Detroit. And you need some veterans to help transition from truly terrible football to finding out how to be a winner. Aaron Glenn obviously went through that in Detroit, and he's going through that again in New York. This will be a short-term deal. Anzalone's 31 years old. It looks like Quincy Williams is going to hit free agency, at least for now. Either way, you can never have enough veteran leaders and guys who can make a difference on the field come affordably, nonetheless. And someone like Alex Anzalone, I think, will go a long way in trying to help the Jets get back on track. There's a lot of work to do, but I think that would help check at least one box a little bit down the page there, Tommy.
No doubt about it. Good first segment from you two. Sit tight, don't go anywhere, but we do want to let everybody know about the odds to win the AFC East, where the Bills are a betting favorite. They had won 5 straight before the Patriots snapped that streak in 2025.